Why? Well, first and foremost is that, we can't get used to bad things, okay? So the very fact that we're not having electricity, 600 million people in Africa are not having electricity, I've always said that it means that we're getting used to an abnormal is becoming normal. And when you don't have access to electricity, small and medium-sized businesses can't work, a tailor can't work, a barber can't do their job, a mechanic can't work. So it's not just about big companies. Of course, big companies are able to have ability to take some of those shocks, but even they cannot compete, because the cost of actually doing manufacturing is too high. And so the key is Africa has a huge amount of assets, energy assets. It's how you actually unlock those assets to make sure that you can have productive power, for people. And so the Mission 300, which myself and the President of the World Bank have launched, is basically to connect 300 million people to access to electricity by 2030. We're very clear about what we're doing. It's going to be a $40 billion investment from both of us. But to be able to do that, we need the countries. I mean, you're talking about the case of Nigeria. Of course, there are 15 countries we are starting with, and those countries will have energy compacts. Nigeria, of course, is at the big top of that list, and we have a lot of assets in Nigeria. You take a look at hydropower, it's there. You have also a huge amount of solar potential. We have gas for thermal power, right? And in some parts of Nigeria, you have also, you don't have geothermal, but we have actually wind power. So, how do you power an economy like Nigeria in a way that also uses renewable energy, but allows you to also use the gas that the country has in abundance to have a stable energy mix that can drive industrialization? The thing is that, when we say cost of things are going up or that we are not able to compete, it comes down to one simple thing: cost of energy. That's just what it is. Because you're running generators, you're running diesel. That's not how you're going to do things, and also because that also has a lot of emissions and secondary smoke that affects people's health. And so we have Nigeria and 14 other countries that are all part of this. And what I want to say is, it's not us telling countries what to do. It's countries deciding what they want to do, and then us putting resources behind them to do it. And the energy sector, I always say you have to get some things right for it to work. First and foremost is that you have to make sure that the policy and regulatory environment context is enough to be able to support private sector, right? So if you want to have independent power producers that are coming to the place, you have to have a tariff structure that allows them to be able to make money for the amount of capital that they are going to actually deploy. And secondly is that you can generate a lot of power, but if there is no evacuation of the power because you don't have a good grid system, then that becomes another problem. And third is that, utilities that actually manage power, right? Unfortunately, 35% of them in Africa run both revenue losses and non-technical losses. So you also have to improve that one as well. But at the end of the day, we just can't get used to a bad thing, And I remember an experience of mine, which is I went to Kenya, and we had a project which is a last mile connectivity project. Basically what that means is you can have a grid, but the poor households can't have access to it because they can't pay the connection fees. And it's a lot of money for them to put down. So we have to be sensitive to the income earning power of people and their ability to pay. So we can't just, we must recognize the poverty that people have and therefore have a structure that allows them to be able to have productive use of energy and pay it over time. But in any case, this one I went to Rift Valley of Kenya. We were supporting so many millions of households to connect to electricity last mile. And I came to this particular village, and the lady was walking right in front of me, and the Minister of Energy of Kenya was behind me. And the minister asked, "Do you know Dr. Adesina?" He said, "I don't know Dr. Adesina." I said, "Do you know the African Development Bank?" He said, "I don't know the African Development Bank. All I know is that we once were in darkness and now we have light." And that's exactly how it has to be. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
We cannot wait for 2030.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless. All right.